there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Skywind007. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at this. This is a little science project that I had when I was 13 or 14 years old. I got this from eBay. It is not new, it's used, but it's in very good condition. So let's look it up. Let's look at it now. So as you can see, this was originally from Radio Shack. For those of you that are too young to know what Radio Shack is, it used to be a store here in the US, but I believe they already went bankrupt. Thank you, Amazon. So anyway, what this is that it has some instructions, and you can make all types of circuits with it, and it's a fun way of making circuits. If you look inside, it comes with everything that you need. So these are the instructions. And by the way, if you want to learn electronics, this is not what this is for. This is not what that is for. This is not for learning electronics. You won't become an electrical engineer from this. But this might give you some insight, and it'll be fun. You might learn a few things. But for formal learning, you'll have to get a real book. A real textbook. And here we go. And it does look brand new, even though they sold it to me as used but in very good condition. So that's very nice. These are the cables that you use, I believe. Can't tell. This is just one long cable. And these are the other cables. And there are two cables that are missing, which are very long yellow cables. Might be this. And this is the exact same unit that I had back in 1993, I believe. When I was far away from here. And this is coming off, I think. No, it's not. So let's go through this. These are the resistors. These are the capacitors. These are the transistors. This is what they call the relay, and it does say relay right there. Oh, well, it is labeled here. Resistors, capacitors, transistor, relay. This is the transformer. These are the batteries. This is what they call the piezo buzzer. This makes sound. This is a variable resistor, which has well, it doesn't say the resistance, the range. And right here, this is what, this is the radio circuit. This is the coil. And this is the variable capacitor, even though it doesn't say so. This right here is the diode. That's at GE, that means germanium. Germanium diode. This is just a switch. There are 3 terminals for every switch. And this is a key. On the top, you'll have 2 lights, which are called LED. Everybody's familiar with that these days, but back in 1993, LEDs were kind of new. Not really. They were not in widespread use like they are today, where everything has an LED in it. Even automobiles have LEDs. We have LED TVs. But back in those days, LEDs were not the mainstream lighting sources that are seen in devices today. If you turn it around, you're gonna see this right here. This is just the connections. There's nothing else to see down here other than the battery case. So it does take 4 AA batteries, which are not included. And you gotta be careful not to detach anything here, because some of these things are soldered in place and they're very hard to put back. So that was the board. Now moving on to the manual, it says 60 in 1, so that does suggest that there are 60 circuits. that you can build. And it was made by Radio Shack, a division of Tandy Corporation, Fort Worth, Texas. So that's just information that is probably outdated. So here are the cables that you get. You get the yellows, red, blue, orange, and the very long yellows, which I think are these. These should be just 2 of them. See, wire yellow, 2. There's just 2 of them. Although it says 8 piece, I don't know. So here are the contents. The table of contents. So this there are total of 60 projects. And we are, just for demonstrations, we are going to start doing the very first one, which is this one right here, an electrical circuit. So all that is going to do, you can tell from the diagram, all that's going to do is turn on the LEDs. So let's start. To assemble the circuit, you're going to follow the wiring sequence. First, you read this whole thing. This is just a basic introduction. And you follow this wiring sequence. And they, on the very few circuits, they'll give you this right here, this smaller diagram where it shows you how to set up the wires. But basically, you get this right here. On the subsequent circuits, you don't get the picture, you just get the wiring sequence. So this is just for learning. And if you see right here, 164 means that you're going to go to, oh, I hate this. 164 means that you're going to connect 1, which is this one right here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, so 1. You connect that with 64, and 64 is right here. 1 to 64. So we should be able to use the blue ones. I actually remember all this. That was over 30 years ago. I remember that these were very common, the blue ones. So let me do this off camera. I'm going to make all the connections and then we're going to see the results. Okay folks, so I have finished assembling this the circuit. I put all the wires according to the instructions. So let's turn off the lights and let's move that switch. And by the way, I already put the batteries on the back. And there you have it. That's pretty cool. Alright folks, so definitely this was nice to see it after 30 years. 30 or so years since I first did this. To see it again is definitely something magical, I have to say. So I will be working on the rest of these circuits. There's 60 of them. Of course, I'm not going to be showing them all on YouTube. I'm just demonstrating this, so if you like this, you might want to try it. If you read it, it's very basic, so it's definitely meant for children, but adults can play with this too. There's no limit on how old you can be to play with this. But it is very fun. It's written in a very simple language. There's nothing fancy about the language that they use. And it's just great fun. I did it when I was a child and I'm doing it again. So thank you for watching, subscribe, and thumbs up.